107.7 The Bronx and 1077thebronx.com. You're listening to Health411. We're continuing our conversation with Philip Wilson. And one of the things we're hearing about is Philip's discovery of infrared technology and infrared saunas and relaxed saunas with a connection in Taiwan. But to understand what these things do, we need to know what infrared means. How is that connected to light and things like that?
Well, there's the visible spectrum from red to violet, and then there's ultraviolet and X-rays on the violet side, and on the red side you have infrared, which includes near infrared, mid infrared, and far infrared ray. And then you have microwaves, and then you have gamma rays and radio waves. I hope I got it correct, but the main thing is that the sun generates about 41% invisible infrared ray. It generates all these frequencies that I just described, including ultraviolet. Now, when we go out into the sun and we don't have a shirt on, the ultraviolet energy is resisted by our body, and it causes a friction, and so we can get a suntan or a sunburn. Near infrared does not give us a burn, nor does far infrared or microwaves. Or microwave is what this. And there are dangers with the EMF from the microwave devices. And it turns out that Dr. Yamaguchi, who's done a lot of research in Japan, has said that it's the 7 to 14 micron frequency of far infrared ray that vibrates the water molecules. And it also antidotes the negative EMF from microwave EMF, microwave emanations, and it also antidotes sunburn. He says that when the water molecules vibrate with this far infrared ray energy between 7 and 14 microns, that's going to weaken the ionic bonds, and hence it's going to release poisonous toxic gases like sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. It's also going to release heavy metals. And also we know that if there's 100 people in a small room dancing, it's going to get hot. And hence, if all the water molecules in your body are vibrating or dancing, your body temperature is going to get hot. Hippocrates is well known for saying, father of modern medicine, find me a way to create fever and I will cure any disease, any disease. That means all of them. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty profound. And I wish the medical establishment would take that more to heart. That he also said, above all, do no harm. And that's something they don't appear to take to heart.
Mm-hmm. So you bring up an interesting thing, because a diagnostic technique that many people have heard about are MRIs, or
yes,
which are also based on the resonance of molecules, water molecules that machines and computers can detect. That's not what we're talking about here.
No.
Yeah.
But basically, the far infrared energy mm-hmm. affects the water. And the water, if you can charge the water, see, there's a difference between near infrared and far infrared. Near infrared, we are far infrared light beams. Dr. Sherry Rogers wrote a book, Detoxify or Die, around 2001. And she said that far infrared saunas was her device that she used when people were left to dead by the medical establishment. She is an environmental medical doctor. People with environmental concerns and multi-chemical sensitivities were left to dead by the medical establishment and came to her. And she took care of them using far infrared saunas in the late 1990s and got them all healthy and functioning in society. So she wrote the book, Detoxify or Die, and that spawned the far infrared sauna industry. Now, she says in the book, we are far infrared light beams. We shine 3 to 50 microns, mainly 9.4 microns. Water happens to also be a far infrared molecule. It vibrates at 8 microns. So it turns out that we as human beings, we are a repository for far infrared light. That means we absorb and we emit far infrared light. Solar panels are a repository for the sunlight. And when the sunlight hits a solar panel, it stores energy. And we can use that energy. So similarly, as a repository for far infrared light, and I've been saying for years, the whole purpose of a far infrared sauna is one and one only, and that's to vibrate the water molecules.
And
now,
so-
when you
and-
vibrate
right,
the water
and
molecules,
it's going to generate heat, sort of like
yes,
like a microwave
it
oven.
generates
But you
insight,
but these
but in a positive way, not a negative way.
Right. So when we talk about all these wavelengths, the electromagnetic spectrum is like huge. The visible spectrum is relatively small, like 400 nanometers to about 700
Right.
or so, as Philip mentioned, from like blue to red. Outside of that, we cannot detect infrared light, but other animals can.
Yes.
Some animals can detect ultraviolet light going to shorter wavelengths. We need machines to detect like X-rays, microwaves, radio waves, all these different wavelengths. But within that infrared spectrum, you're saying even though we cannot detect it, it has some physiological. There are ways to change. We can't detect it with our eyes, but it can change the physiology of cells of our body.
Have you ever gone out into the sun on a hot day or on a cold day with your winter coat on where the sun is really hot and you've closed your eyes and you feel that incredible sensation within your body of warmth to your core?
Absolutely.
That's far infrared energy. It's invisible, but of course, we interviewed two snakes about 5-6 years ago in the sauna. They had an animal communicator.
Oh, you put snakes in it. Interesting, because they can. So snakes can detect infrared light.
Yes, and they were describing what it's felt like, and you can go on YouTube and put in relaxed sauna snakes, and you'll find
Oh, that would be
20
fascinating to see. Yeah.
And as you, as a biologist, I'm sure you'll want to, and you know that snakes can see infrared energy. That's how they catch mice and frogs.
And for people who are listening and might not know what we're talking about, you can think about the Predator movies.
Yeah, right. On YouTube, I watch them. I mean, on Facebook, you go on and you see these tigers eating whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I definitely will check that out. The relaxed sauna snakes, and so the behavior of the snakes changed in these devices.
They just said they loved this, that it was so much better than the light in their cage. They really liked it, and they described a little bit what the light looked like to them.
Oh, very, very, very cool. So tell us more. So you're using some of these devices to affect human physiology and human behavior.
I call the far infrared light the loving light of the sun, because when people go, I go to shows for the last 25 years. I've been to about 600 functional medicine doctor shows and alternative health shows and Lyme disease, cancer, autism, colon hydrotherapy, massage therapy, anything that's weird and strange, nutritional counseling, EFT, psychology conferences, and I promote the relaxed sauna. We were at an ALS conference, Lou Gehrig's disease. Sold 17 saunas out of 125 people. Because when people go in, they feel loved, because the far infrared ray is the loving light of the sun, and your body just absorbs it, and so you feel like you're covered by a warm blanket.
Yes. So Philip, I want to hear more about this, because you said some words that are very interesting to me. The idea of warmth is very interesting to me, and the idea of going into it, and that these are at home. So I want to hear what they look like, so our listeners can envision it, and I want to get your thoughts on how you go from vibrating water molecules, which is probably going to generate heat, to some of these therapeutic things. But we need to take a break on Health 411 for underwriting announcements. You're listening to 107.7 The Bronx and 107.7thebronx.com.